Hello, friend. This is Ryan Hicks of TalkToProfit.com. And today I want to talk to you about why you must keep good, godly company to keep your vibrational state high and to manifest the best life that you want to have. Many people mistake wanting to help other people, wanting to be a blessing to them, wanting to instruct them in the ways of righteousness. They mistake that for just fellowshipping with unrighteousness, being unequally yoked with people who you shouldn't be yoked with at all. The scripture says, what concord can we have with Belial? How can we have fellowship with unrighteousness when we're walking in righteousness? How can we walk with those people who are carnally minded, which is death, and it's the enemy of God? When we are not carnally minded, we're walking in the Spirit. The scripture says of the Christian that the Christian has crucified the flesh with the affections and lusts. Galatians chapter 5, verse 24. And yet many people are walking around fellowshipping with professing Christians who have not crucified the flesh with the affections and lusts. They're still living like the world. They still basically worship their bellies each day as they're eating animals and doing stuff like that, plainly resisting the Spirit of grace, the plain leading of the Spirit, to get out of that carnality, that fleshly mentality, and walk in a righteous path. And people are associating with these people constantly. I'm not talking about just brief associations. You come in contact with somebody, you try to uplift them, you try to be edifying, and then you go about your day. These are friendships that people are yoked to these people who are not righteous. And listen, I understand if you love these people and you care about them, maybe they're even family members, and you feel that bond to them, but you have to protect and guard your vibrational state at all costs. That means you're going to have to give up some people. If they refuse to change, they stay in their rebellion, you have to move on from them. Now, this may sound very harsh, but what I want you to understand is that when you are associating with these people and you're in fellowship with them, you are putting a statement of endorsement on their behavior. Now, you can say, well, I don't agree with everything they do. But if you really had a problem with it, you wouldn't be associating those people. If someone was a murderer, a liar, a cheater, would you hang out with them? Probably not. Hopefully not. And yet you're going around people who are plainly in rebellion against God, claiming righteousness that they don't have, because they don't know God, they're carnally minded. And you're associating with them as if something's all right there, as if that's a proper relationship to have. Jesus taught you that the world will hate you. Maybe this is a wake-up call that if you're around and you look around, all the people who are around you are negative, they're low vibration, they're unrighteous, maybe you are too. Because how would those people want to be around you and associate with you if you are a person of righteousness, a man of God, a woman of God, a woman of strong character, a man of strong character? They wouldn't want to be around you for very long unless they're making strides to change their ways and get on the straight and narrow path. But if they're not, and they're just wallowing around in unrighteousness, they don't care to change, they resist the Spirit every day, how can you keep company with them? My friend, it's not good for you, and this is important because you care about these people. It's not good for them either. You may think it is, but it's not. You're not leading them to Christ like people will try to pretend to themselves they are. You're not leading them to righteousness. You're not drawing them. They're in rebellion. Your association with them is keeping them in that state of rebellion. It's pushing them further away from God. And I know it's a hard thing to hear because we want to be lights, and we are lights. But here's the thing. The light doesn't stay lit, wallowing around in the darkness, getting all the filth of the world on it. Eventually, it becomes darkness itself. But we have the victory overcomes the world, even our faith. We have the victory right now. We are walking in righteousness. We could be a light. But a light does not mean you just go and associate with people who are up to no good. They're not doing the right thing. They're not behaving the right way. You will lower your vibration. You'll keep yourself in a lower vibrational state. And I've known people like this. They're well-meaning. They want these people to come to righteousness. They want them to walk with Jesus, but they don't understand that their association with them, their fellowship with these people, is not helpful in the least. And they don't see the fact that their association with them is actually harming them as well. So rather than lift these people up to a higher state of righteousness, they're keeping them where they are, and they're lowering their own vibrational state, their own purity and righteousness. Because you can't keep around those people for very long without being harmed, without being lowered. You know, I talk about sin and unrighteousness and things like this as if it's a virus. It is not something that you just walk through life, and I hope you'll hear my heart. I'm not telling you to go and hide in a cave somewhere and stay away from the world. No, Jesus taught us plainly that we would be in the world, but we're not of the world. And the scripture makes it very clear, if we have no dealings with the world and worldly people, we'd have to leave the world. So that's not what I'm suggesting. What I'm suggesting is your fellowship, your deep communion with people has to be with people of equal or higher levels of vibration. People who are walking with God. People who know God and are in tune with the infinite. Not people who are unrighteous. Not people who are walking around in carnality. Not people who refuse and rebel and resist the Spirit of grace. Yes, you can be a blessing to them. Yes, you can be a light to them. But in many cases, you're going to have to do it from afar. You can't just associate with these people all the time. And any associations you do have with them need to be on understanding that these people need light. Not of them being somehow your spiritual equal, because they're not. Not, oh, I just look past all these evils that they're just spewing forth. No. The scripture talks about we don't partake of the works of unrighteous. We don't even speak of them. We rebuke them. We reprove them. And yet many people aren't doing that. This doesn't mean you go around just pointing out flaws and nitpick people and nothing like that at all. But you as a person of character and substance, walking with God, must keep good, righteous, high vibrational associations. And if the associations you're keeping, the fellowship you're keeping, is not to that standard, you need to make some changes. Because you're not going to have the life that you want to have. You're not going to manifest things you want to have. You're not going to be the person you want to be when you're around people who are dragging you down. My friend, I pray this is a blessing for you. May God bless you richly.